Well, hello everyone from New York. It's nice to see all of you again, and thank you, Bobby, for the invitation to be with the Sangha this morning. As Bobby mentioned, I'm in New York City. I am a novice priest at the Village Zendo, and also I lead our People of Color Sitting Group, which turned 8 years old at the beginning of this past April. So we've been around, especially during the George Floyd times and Black Lives Matter. So it's been a journey, a journey. And Bobby, who's come to a few of our gatherings, we usually end our sit time with a tea. And most recently, one of the members said to the group, "So, how are the teachings helping you get through these times?" And there was a laughter and there was silence. But I thought that's a very good question. How are the teachings helping us get through these times? There are a lot of buzzwords, I'm sure you know, in our practice, like compassion, showing up, practice. And I've come to think of buzzwords as rather a default, you know. There is something that we go to when we feel like we're feeling something, and it's supposed to be the bridge that's supposed to help us feel better. But sometimes we may not even know what we're feeling, but it's easier to say, well, we should be more compassionate. We just show up, or it's all in the practice. I mean, you hear those kinds of words being mentioned about. But something to really pause for us to think about is, how do we practice? Bobby mentioned that most of you are not new, so you are familiar with the what we're all doing. And it's important, I think, especially as we fine tune what we do, is to ask ourselves about our practice. Is it about buzzwords, or is it about particular rituals? You know, things that we do that maybe on a certain level we think we might be acquiring or receiving something, that there might be some kind of benefit, a benefit being calmness, peace of mind, less anxiety. Charles Johnson, who is a black writer, and he's also a Buddhist, mentioned in a book of his that, and I quote, "In parts of Southeast Asia, there is the practice of making merit. In Thailand, you can buy merit. Vendors with birds in cages will, if you pay them, allow you to open the cages and let the birds go free. Instant good karma." Instant good karma, and then what? So I feel in a case like this, let's go back to some of our ancestors. There is a Chan teacher from the 7th century by the name of Chao Cho. He's known in some of our koans, and he's known for his sense of humor and inventiveness. And there's a story about Chao Cho and a student, and it goes something like this. One of Chao Cho's students asked him, "Where will you go when you die, master?" Chao Cho said, "I shall go straight to hell." The student said, "Oh, how virtuous. Surely your reverence doesn't deserve to go to hell." Chao Cho said, "If I don't, who will teach you?" I like to think our practice is about being in hell. And most of us probably on this call, in this place, have some idea of what hell is like. And I'm not talking about that particular destination that you go to when you know, that's filled with fire and demons and pain. But the world is in hell. The world is in hell. So it brings us back to, well, how do we teach? How do we teach? If we see hell as something separate, from us that heaven is the place for cool people to go, right? They've done it all. Then this practice is about, for us, is being in hell. That's living into the Bodhisattva vows that we will chant when we end our time together. It is about the practice of our vows tell us, and Bobby, I'm going to take from yours, the words that you use in your Bodhisattva vows, is to serve, transform, and to enter. Serve, transform, and to enter. And that's how I feel we enter into hell. And how we serve, transform, and enter is with a certain amount of discernment. We don't just go right in and say, I'm going to make this different or do that different, but maybe sometimes we have to just bear witness, stand still, and see how we are called to step in, to serve, transform, and to enter. One of the things I love about your particular four vows is that you've changed them. They're quite different from the ones we chant in New York City. We vow to save, we vow to put an end to illusions, and we vow to master and to attain. But you say serve, transform, and enter. You chant those words. And I think that's what Chao Cho was also saying to his students. We teach by serving, we teach by transforming, we teach by entering. And that every situation is an opportunity to serve, transform, and to enter. This Dharma talk, our time together, is a gate for us to serve, transform, and to enter. It's not just someone speaking to you from afar on the screen, but we're all here to serve, transform, and to enter. And I think that helps us, well, I'll speak for myself, it helps me to feel a little more connected. To know that there's a little bit of difference that can be made. It doesn't take much, but just being with each other, maybe a pat on the back, a smile, a glass of water. Somebody drops something, you help them pick it up. Somebody falls, you help them you pick themselves up. We enter into whatever life presents in front of us. Instead of keeping it, feeling that, well, we've got to attain enlightenment, whatever that means, but we all have a certain definition of what enlightenment is about. And that takes us away. Dogen, one of our teachers in Zen, says enlightenment is practice, practice is enlightenment. And I hope that doesn't become a buzzword, but maybe see it as a means to step into why we do what we do. That we are in hell. And how do we serve? How do we transform? How do we enter? Again, with a certain amount of discernment. Do I serve? Is this the right time for me to serve? Is this the right place for me to serve? Are these the appropriate conditions for me to serve? I think we need to have that in the back of our ears as we step into a particular gate that's in front of us. That is what I believe our Bodhisattva vows call us to, is to serve, transform, and to enter. Not to attain, not to master, not to end. we can get very stuck in wanting to get results from what we do. We're looking to get some resolution from bad karma to good karma. But again, like Chao Cho, we serve, we transform, and we enter into the best way we can. And that's what I believe, I'd like to believe, is what Sangha is all about. To not see ourselves as lone rangers, but part of something bigger that can help and make a difference. So I'll conclude my remarks and wait to hear from you. You're serving, you're transforming, and how we all can enter into what's next. Thank you.